Happy Monday, Patriots fans. I wish we could say Victory Monday, but we were 1 point shy. We lost to the Colts yesterday, 25-24, but I got to put my head on the pillow last night. I'll be honest, I wasn't that upset going to bed. Not like I was against the Miami Dolphins when we lost that ball game. But I really thought there were a lot of takeaways that the Patriots can move forward with that are in the positive direction despite this loss. Look, I know the Patriots aren't going to the playoffs this year. They're not going to win the Super Bowl, but this does have a good feeling moving forward. The Patriots could be a good ball team maybe next season. So before I hop into my top takeaways from the game on the offense and defensive side of the ball, help us reach 19,000 subscribers. We gained a ton of subscribers yesterday in our watch party against the Colts. Thank you guys so much for everybody that showed up, but now we're trying to get to 19,000. We currently have 18,823. We need 177 more, so go on ahead and hit that sub button for me. So before I jump into those takeaways, I do just want to let you guys know here from Christopher Price, the Patriots loss to the Colts paired with wins by both the Texans and the Chargers does mean that New England is officially eliminated from playoff contention. So no postseason for the Patriots this year, which is unfortunate, but we also kind of knew this was going to happen when we had the third pick in last year's draft, and thankfully we did secure Drake Maye. So we're hoping next year we have a different outcome. So let's talk about Drake Maye, shall we? This is my first takeaway from our loss against the Colts. He just played his best game in Week 13. And that's what you want to see from a rookie that's getting better every single game this season. When you look at his numbers, I mean, you're probably saying, Allie, these kind of look similar to every other game. Well, let's talk about this. 80% completion percentage is a career high for Drake Maye. And I want to talk about that interception that really wasn't Drake Maye's fault. It was just credited to a really good defense that just unfortunately stripped the ball from Hunter Henry's hands. So I do think that would have been a turnover-free football game for Drake Maye, paired on to 238 yards. But I also want to talk about how he is continuing to being a dual threat in the backfield. You pair on 238 yards through the air, along with about 41 yards in just one single play. He rushed for almost 60 yards in this game, and this 41-yard run came in the first quarter, and he absolutely annihilated the Colts defense. This is showing me that he needs to have more responsibility when it comes to toting the rock. I think that if you're going to have a mobile quarterback and you drafted a mobile quarterback, then you need to start designing plays for your mobile quarterback. Now I'm talking to Alex Van Pelt. We saw the Indianapolis Colts, an offense that is catered around Anthony Richardson, which is saying a lot because he's kind of booty cheeks. So if this offense is going to go with a pretty subpar quarterback and change their entire offensive lineup, then Alex Van Pelt needs to do the exact same thing. I saw numerous quarterback design runs for Anthony Richardson that Drake Maye needs to also have. Because if you have two powerful running backs, who I'll talk about a little bit later in this video, and you pair that on with a very mobile quarterback, Drake Maye can thrive the rest of the season and possibly next year. My second takeaway, though, I'm going to flip here to the defense, because when I do talk about quarterbacks, I have to talk about how quarterbacks that we have been playing have been having a field day going up against our defenses. I mean, if I was an opposing quarterback and I was asked which defensive line you would like to play every single week, I would say the New England Patriots. Why? Because they remain untouched when they play our front three. And I think that's a little bit ridiculous. Anthony Richardson had 0 sacks. Matthew Stafford, he had 0 sacks when he faced New England. And then Tua Tagovailoa, he had 2 sacks, but that was only on 2 quarterback hits. So he only got hit a total of 2 times. Matt Stafford at least got hit 4 times, but it wasn't enough to be counted for a sack. And then when you look at what that front three is allowing, not only are they not getting to the quarterback, but they're also allowing running backs to have a field day, 144 yards on the ground. Yeah, I know, 65 yards looks great. Yeah, well, the receiving core put up over 285 yards through the air, so that's why they decided not to run the ball. And then 107 from Kyren Williams alone, with Matthew Stafford in the Rams. So now we're struggling to stop the run. We're not attacking quarterbacks. We spend no time in their backfield. We're barely touching QBs, which is not good because guess what? That means they either have all day long in the pocket to throw, They're not getting exhausted because they're not running away from defenders every single play. And the Patriots, especially against the Colts, they struggled to stop Jonathan Taylor. And I'm not going to, singly point them out because a lot of teams struggle to stop Jonathan Taylor, but you also failed to stop Anthony Richardson, who rushed up the gut for that successful game-winning 2-point conversion. And when I tell you Anthony Richardson, he walked into that end zone. I mean, he walked into the end zone completely untouched on the game-winning 2-point conversion. You didn't want to lay your body out on the line to get that win? That's a different conversation. But overall, I think we have a defensive problem, and it starts with that front three. So, do we need help on the front three? With Keon White, Daniel Ekuale, and now you have Christian Barmore back, who should be really lifting up these guys. Yes, Christian Barmore did get one of those sacks against Tua Tagovailoa, so I can't point him out too much, but we may need to be looking at some guys in the draft or possibly in free agency. Type Y for yes, type N for no. I've got 2 more takeaways to get here on Patriots today, but first, let me tell you guys about an old friend of mine. Let's talk about Game Time. If you guys are looking to go to any concert, comedy show, sporting event, or maybe even the theater, use Game Time. I promise I use Game Time every single time I'm trying to get tickets to anything that requires a ticket to get into the event, including Patriots games, Celtics games, the Bruins are playing now. The Red Sox season is over, but heck, I've heard a lot of rumors you guys might be getting a top player, so maybe you want to go get your tickets for the Red Sox season next year. If you guys want to use Game Time, here is one feature I love. It's called Game Time Picks. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands and thousands of tickets. Not to mention, you're going to get the lowest price guaranteed. You're going to get all-in pricing with no surprise fees at checkout, and you're going to have the seat view. You get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. So if you guys want to go on ahead and get tickets to one of the Patriots' last home games this year, because now we know we're not going to be in playoff contention, well, I would like to go see what the Patriots can do this year. So they do face the Los Angeles Chargers here very soon, which is going to be a very good game. So if you guys want to go on ahead and get those tickets, it's super easy to do so. Just download that Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. I think the Patriots offense is better when they use not 1 but 2 running backs. And I know that Antonio Gibson cannot be a starter. We saw that when Rhamondre Stevenson was out for week 5 with an injury. But if you pair Stevenson with Gibson, I think our offense becomes a lot more threatening to defenses. You've seen this with the Jets and Braylon Allen and Breece Hall. You've seen this with the Lions and David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Why not use it with Rhamondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson? They're not putting up crazy numbers, all right? But look at this. Rhamondre Stevenson has gone 7 straight games of rushing under 80 yards. So why don't you get that extra help from a guy like Antonio Gibson, who rushed for 62 yards on 7 carries against the Indianapolis Colts? Not to mention he scored his first career touchdown, which allowed them to take the lead in the 4th quarter. You're getting 2 different types of backs here. With Stevenson, you're going to get my favorite, the bruising back. He's going to be more of your bowling ball type of guy. But Gibson is the shifty footwork type of RB, where he's going to find the hole even if it's not created for him, or he'll go to the outside. I think this is going to switch up defenses to make it a lot harder to tackle our run game that has been pretty crappy the last 7 games without Rhamondre Stevenson putting up those numbers. And then on top of that, if you pair Gibson and Rhamondre with a little bit of quarterback design runs, we are going to be putting up nearly 200 yards a game on the ground alone. That's not even factoring in Kayshon Boutte, Kendrick Bourne, Pop Douglas, or any other receivers that Drake May can utilize if he wants to go to the air. AVP has resources. I just need him to start getting creative and using them. I like that Gibson has now started to take a lot of the rock the last 2 games. Keep using it. Mix them up in series. Allow them to have their own series. I think this could be a really good idea for a Patriots offense that is struggling to find an identity. And last but not least, let's go back to defense, because I have been on numerous rants saying the Patriots need to find Christian Gonzalez a pair, a duo. They need to have somebody that can somewhat shadow Gonzo's talents in the backfield, and I think that's Alex Austin. Allie, where has Alex Austin been? Well, he's been on the IR, and I have been a fan of him since training camp, but I think you have now found a player in the secondary that can keep up with Christian Gonzalez as well, because Gonzo's a tough player. I personally think he should be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. I certainly think he should be a Pro Bowler this year. Against the Colts, 1 target, 0 catches allowed, 0 yards, and 1 interception, which was a beautiful interception, by the way. So to have somebody like Alex Austin come in and complement what he does on the field, because when we saw Gonzo going up against the New York Jets, and if you go up against Garrett Wilson, guess what? Devontae Adams is going to have 150 yards. If you cover Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson will have 150 yards, because you don't have that second cornerback. But now you do. It's Alex Austin. Look at this play right here that was an incredibly timed, incomplete pass, a pass deflection by Alex Austin on a 3rd down, must get the first for the Indianapolis Colts. Do you know which player he is stripping from that reception? It's Michael Pittman Jr. That is wide receiver 1 for the Colts. That is normally Christian Gonzalez's guy. So if you've got Alex Austin who's playing white on rice defense, the way that Gonzo would if he was guarding Pittman Jr., then I think you found a really good pair. Not to mention, Alex Austin, he was tied for the team high with 2 pass deflections in this ballgame, and they both came at very crucial 3rd down opportunities for the Colts. It just sucks because the Colts happen to be really good at 4th down conversions as well. Who knew? So I think Alex Austin, he complements Christian Gonzalez, and I think that this is now going to be your top 2 cornerback moving in to the next year. Or if you want to go find somebody in free agency, have fun competing with Alex Austin. But I have a question here because I already mentioned it. Let's talk about Christian Gonzalez one last time. Should he be a Pro Bowler? I mean, he has been the only bright spot, in my opinion, on defense. We got Jabril Peppers back, Kyle Duggar, Alex Austin, which has been great, but nobody compares to Gonzo. Type P for Pro Bowler if you guys agree. As always, we're trying to get to 19,000 subscribers, so if you guys want to be a part of that journey, all you have to do is hit that sub button.